Hello, welcome everyone to our first video tutorial on Java. In this tutorial I'm going to explain to you how to make a simple Java program that displays a text string to the terminal output. To do this, all we have to do is write our source code, which are the instructions that the compiler will follow to generate the desired output. So first thing that we have to do is we will bring up my faithful text editor. This is gedit. Right now I'm on Ubuntu 10.04, and it's not a problem on what operating system you're on or what architecture you're on, Intel or AMD, because Java, as you know, is platform independent. So let's start writing. The first thing that I have to tell you is that in Java everything is a class, meaning that everything is encapsulated in a class. A class is basically an outline of an object. What is a class, what is object? We'll discuss that later. Basically, when I say class, I'm telling the compiler that this word, the next word that is going to follow, is the name of the class. So let's say this is my first program. Now do notice the case of this word, my first program. Here each letter of the word has been capitalized to make a distinction between each word. Capital N for my, capital F for first, capital P for program. And then we have a starting and a closing brace. Everything will be within these two braces. Now you should really focus on giving the starting and the closing braces before writing anything about that class, because everything that you will be writing will be within these two. So just when you give the name of the class, give the starting and the closing braces there and then at that moment, so that you don't forget about it. Inside we'll define a function called this is a function, and as we have program body, these two starting and closing braces are the function body. Whatever will be within this will belong to the function public static void main. Now what is public, what is static, what is void, I will explain that later on. Right now what is important is this is the main function, and there can only be one function main in a program, in a class, and there can be many class files. There can be class second, there can be class third, and so on, but there can only be one class that has the main function, because the main function is unique. It is the starting point of a program. When a compiler compiles, here is where it's going to start. This is block 1. So you can have other classes in this, but we're not going to have that right now. So this is a function, and each function has a starting and a closing simple brace, and this is its parameter, and this is an array of string. What it is, we're going to explain that later. Right now let's just write what we need to write in order to print a string. We'll write again. If you were paying attention, you would know that this is a function because of the braces, and within that, in double quotes, we'll write our message. Now do notice that anything that comes in pairs while I program, I do it there and then. If there is a string that has to be within two double quotes, I give the double quotes beforehand so that I don't forget. So let me just write a string. Hi everyone. Let's do that, and let's save that. Now we are going to save this onto the desktop, and we'll give this the name now this name and name of my class, it's not, I've not done it just as a coincidence. This has to be done. If I don't give this name to my class, it will not compile. There will be an error. And we have to append .java intent. Now whatever class has the main function, that will be the name of the file. So for example, the class myfirstprogram has the main function, so the name of the file has to be myfirstprogram.java. So we'll save that, and I saved, and as you can see, all the keywords have been highlighted by gedit. That's a helpful feature. Other text based softwares can be used for editing source files, and they all come with this advantage. For example, in Windows you have Notepad++. That is great, that you can use, and it will highlight it in somewhat similar fashion. Alright, now as you can see, I have a file called myfirstprogram on the desktop. Now I need to compile this. So to compile this, I need the Java virtual machine and the Java runtime environment. So to compile this file, I will have to issue this command and then the name of the file, but I have to first go to the Java C and then myfirstprogram.java, but it's saying that I don't have Java, I have to install it. Therefore I will issue a command and install this file, and the command for this is sudo apt-get install openjdk -6 -jdk. I can install any other packages. I'm going to install the first one, and I'll just put in my password, and sooner or later we're going to get it. And there we have it. Now let's compile. You see this, when I say Java, it gives me this long list of how to use this. It is saying that we can have Java C, and then you can give an option, and then you can give the source files, whatever they may be. They can be, you can give one source file, or you can compile many source files. If you give star, it will compile each source file that that folder contains. Down here I have this option. I want you to experiment with this. Not experiment, just just try it out. Just try it, and then give version, not verbose, and it will list the version. Current version is 1.6.0_18 as of June 9th 2010. So let's compile, and if there are no errors, I should get the prompt back like this. If there are errors, it will be listed. To run this file, we'll need to issue another command, but before that, have a look. We have two files. One was myfirstprogram.java, and the other file is myfirstprogram.class. Now the .class file is the bytecode that is going to be actually run on the Java runtime environment. So now we are going to call the Java runtime environment and run this file. And to do this, we will write Java and myfirstprogram. No .class should be appended to it. Just write the name of the class, and if you press enter, you get the message that we had intended, and we get the prompt back. So this is how you can write a simple Java program, and thank you for viewing.